But I wanted to talk about the last part of this. So, some of these people trying to say that I don't like black men because of what they do. This is exactly why I specifically don't say that black men are better, or less than white men. I don't say they're better and I don't say they're less than. I just kind of am of the mentality that people are people. I don't really think that their race determines their actions. As I said in the part one of this video, I specifically was saying that the person that we're talking about, specifically Christopher Burton, was a guy I specifically texted and messaged online or whatever. And specifically, this person was a very troubled person. They said a lot of crazy things about how they wanted to kill themselves in special ways, and that it was eventual. It was not eventual. What did he say? Not eventual. It was basically inevitable that he was going to kill himself, and whatever way he wanted to kill himself or whatever. Um, and it wasn't like he just up and said that. It was like a lot of other problems that he had. I talked about it in the last video that he was he seemed like he had a mental illness. He seemed like he had a substance abuse issue. He said he used meth. He had child abuse issues, sexual, physical, and emotional, and also had financial problems, was homeless, had roommates who kicked him out, he was evicted, and he had a whole situation where he was living in hotel to hotel. And his family abandoned him as a child, and a lot of other things. Okay, so that was all something I was trying to point out in the past. That, to me, I don't personally think that race defines your actions or what you go through in life. I don't even think that white men are more um, privileged than black men, or black men more privileged than white men. I mean, black men have more right to be racist, true, but that's all black people. But I don't really think anyone has an advantage over anyone. I don't believe in white privilege, okay? So if I don't believe in white privilege, then how do you think I'm going to think that white people have better lives? How do you think I'm going to think that white people are just better, in behavior? I don't, personally, and I never have. And that's a specific thing I've always tried to tell you, black men. That specifically, I don't personally have an issue with how black men act or with black men in general. My thing is, I'm not sexually attracted to you. Now, at the beginning, I may have had a few times where I complained about uh, other races or said, like, there were some kind of problems I've had in the past or whatever with seeing, like, dysfunctional people. I live in Vegas. Most of the people in Vegas are dysfunctional white people. I specifically talked about this in the past, you know, and I've talked about how white privilege exists, I guess, to some people. But if you really look at it, if they're on the ground begging you for change at 7-Eleven, then they're clearly not privileged, you know. So that was why my channel has never been of the mentality that white men were better than black men, but they look better than black men, and I am attracted to them more than black men. Like you're talking about this one guy who, like I said, was mentally ill. And as far as for me, I have been to therapists and I've never been prescribed anything. So I've never had a problem with therapists. This person I talked to about going to a therapist, and they didn't want to go because when you have something wrong with you and you're not willing to admit that you have a mental illness, the last thing you want to do is go to a therapist, because a therapist is going to diagnose you. And for me, I've got nothing to hide, so I've never had any problem with that. But basically, to me, like, I am attracted to white men. So I'm attracted to messed up white men. And that's what I was trying to say all along. That even despite everything, I'm still attracted to white men. I'm still attracted to Hispanic men. And Hispanic men are the ones that I've seen more, I guess, dysfunction, you could say, like the person you're naming who's Hispanic. And I've seen other people who seemed like something was wrong with them, and they were like Hispanic. Sometimes it seems like Hispanics are a little bit more along the ghetto side of things. And it's just what it is. But yeah, like for me personally, like I don't judge black people like that. That's why I always say that black men aren't by behavior worse than white men, but by physical interest. My personal physical interest is more in men that I am attracted to, obviously. Who am I more attracted to? I'm more attracted to white men than black men, and I'm mainly attracted to brown men. Like, my main attraction to men is brown men, usually Hispanic men. If I'm attracted to someone who looks white, it's because usually they have Hispanic in them, because I do have more attraction to Hispanic men. So, for me, that's who I prefer. And I've told you over and over and over again why I'm attracted to Hispanic men, brown men, white men over black men. It's got nothing to do with whatever you do in your life. You could make $1 billion. I would still stay in trashdom if I had to, before I would go with a black billionaire. Because the reason why is because I'm not sexually attracted to you. How can I have sex with you if I'm not attracted to you? It's not possible to happen for females. Females have to be aroused to have sex with men, just like men have to be aroused to have sex with women. They do. So, I mean, for me personally, like, I don't have any problems basically with black men like that. It's just I don't have any sexual attraction to them. And does it hurt more the fact that I personally will never have any interest in black men no matter what you do? Like, no matter what you do. I think that's what the problem is here. Because that's the conversation we were having originally, as why I'm not physically attracted to black men, dark skinned black men. And the reason I'm not is just because you have feminine features, in my opinion. You have full lips, you have high cheekbones, you have a soft brown nose, almond shaped eyes, very white space. They look almost like you're, have some mental issues. Your brow ridge is round, your forehead is round, your hairline is round, your jaw's round, and your chin is round. All of that is a reason why I'm not attracted to you. You look like a black woman to me. And you expect me, who was raised by a black woman, to be attracted to you. You look like my mom. How am I supposed to do that? That makes no sense. And also, another thing is, it's not just that. I'm not dark skinned. So certain things that you have are unusual to me. Just like for white people, certain things white people have are unusual to me. Even though, I've had my sexual experiences with white men, and, I'm in a relationship now with someone who's white, and for real white, not mixed. But, like, in the whole situation, for me, it's kind of like I have always thought that things were different there too. The problem is that normalization happens when society is the majority of something, basically, like desensitization, basically, is a thing that happens when you see it often, okay? I can't be desensitized by black men in any regard because they're not the majority of society. This is why I've always said with white men, I'm attracted to them on a desensitized level. So, yeah, that's what I was pointing out here. I just wanted to point at that in here because it's like, I'm not one of those channels who think black men are bad because they're criminals or this or that. No. I've seen plenty of criminals that were white, Hispanic, Asian, Indian, black. Anyone can commit a crime. Anyone can be bad. Anyone can be poor. Anyone can be crazy, okay? That's not how I work. You know, if I really thought that black people were less than white people, then I should not be dating a white person right now. I should not be in a relationship with a white man now. Because if that's how I am, then I'm not white, so then I'm less than. I'd be inferior, therefore not a good match for a white man. I don't think that. I think black people are equal. If I denounce black men and say that they are inferior and they're bad men, then that implies I'm inferior to white women. I never have ever felt like I was inferior to a white woman. This is why, for me, I defend white women day in and day out, you know? And everyone knows I'm not a hater of white women. I've specifically tried to speak out since the beginning of my channel, defending white women on issues like when people try and accuse them of blackfishing and just generally hating them. To me, like when people try to hate white women for being in interracial relationships, I totally relate to them because they're a woman in an interracial relationship and I'm a woman in an interracial relationship. So I mean, like, I can relate to them in that way. I don't see them as an issue because I don't look to black men that way. Like I said, it's not a physical interest for me. You can tell this by the story I'm telling you. And sweetie, this is not the only story I have. Like, I have tons of dating app horror stories. Like, I didn't go out on dates with them, but, you know, you talk to them long enough to be like, oh my God, a horror story, you know, kind of situation. A lot of people do with dating apps, you know. So, I mean, like, you can kind of tell that, like, for me, I don't assume, like, a lot of people on YouTube will try and act like black, like some divested sectors, not all. The ones I associate with don't act this way, but some do. And they'll be like saying, like, that the people that they talk to on the dating apps and so forth, that were white, that were dusty or problematic, they must have been fake white accounts with black men behind them. I don't make that assumption because I know better. I know that there's dysfunctional people of all races. Now, I guess you would think, oh, okay, so you think that all races are dysfunctional. Then why do you say that you're not interested in black men? And the reason is because I don't see you as physically attractive for me. This is why I say it's hashtag all for me. Now, for everybody else, hashtag all, I don't know. That's up to you. Are you interested in black men? Are you attracted to them? Do, do you find a lot of black men have a lot in common with you? Then go for it. You know what I mean? Then it's not hashtag not all for them. But for me, it is hashtag all because I'm not attracted to one single black man. And since I'm not attracted to one single black man, I can't choose a black man. You know? Honestly, I will have an honest conversation with you on Hispanic men and black men. I've always wished I was more attracted to black men, not Hispanic men, because Hispanic men, like I said in that situation, and many other situations, you see more dysfunction with Hispanic men than even white men. So, I mean, for me personally, I personally have more, you know, wish that I had an attraction to black men because I feel like black men aren't as dysfunctional as Hispanic men, statistically speaking. And I have several reasons for thinking that. But, that's what I mean. I don't personally feel I can change. And I feel like, honestly, I'm happy with how it is now because it seems like after all this time, I've kind of just been like, well, this is how I am. I can't help it, kind of like thing. And I've seen other black women who were into black men, and they would be having problems, basically. They'd be complaining about black men. I don't really see a lot of people complaining about white women. That's just the thing. Personally, to me, I don't really complain about white men. Like, if I was to talk about my past um, experiences and, like, I guess, are we including the dating app experiences, I guess, since you're including that? I would not complain about a lot of white men. Now, I would, I guess, complain about a couple here and there, because I mean, like, you talk to like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people on a dating app. So I mean, like, you can find some really messed up individuals. But I don't really talk about, and anybody I've met that was white, I've not had any complaints about, really, you know. But yeah, like, to me, I just kind of am like, you know, this is a main reason for me why I don't personally say that white, black, Hispanic, that you specifically are going to act a certain way based off of your color. You know, that's racist, honestly. You know, I don't think that. I think people are all pretty much free-willed individuals who make choices in their lives and they end up wherever they end up because of that, you know. So to me, you trying to get upset at me and try and say like that this would go against anything I've claimed on my channel is weird. So that's all I wanted to say. Like, that's pretty much it. Like, I wanted to point out this part. Like, lastly, I want to add, I don't get why people always, I don't get where people talk about situations like this on platforms, because you'll get the divestors will get mad at you thinking that you're attacking them if you say anything negative about any experience, even if it's just texting like this situation. Um, by the way, I was not dating this person or had sex with them, but even if you're just texting them, they'll try and act like you're attacking them. And if you are talking amongst the black manosphere, oh, they have a fit. Like, it's like they're, I think their argument is that, see, there's dysfunction, there's problems, there's people who are problematic and everything, and they have personal issues or whatever, and white people aren't any better than black people. I already knew that, though. Like, I grew up in a neighborhood where there were a lot of poor white people, so I mean, like, I never thought that they were better, you know, kind of thing. I come from a family, a long line of family members who were middle class. So for me, I've known of black people who were richer than white people, more successful than white people. So for me, I don't think of it that way. My own motive is physical, and my own, you know, motive for not being interested in black men is physical. It's got nothing to do with what kind of man you are. So the best thing you could do at this point is be a good man and not be so insecure and fussy over the fact that I'm not attracted to you as a black man. So that's all I have to say on that. Thanks for watching, everybody. Like and subscribe, comment down below, and have a great day. Bye.